but we are going through new stages of life, aren't we? It's the way it is. That is what ERO is.
Now we go to the part which I am really curious about, the power of ERO. Take it away, Alvin.
So one of the treats that I get for my professional life, and I have been a professional speaker full-time since 1988, but I've actually been working on stage since 1981. And speaking of stages, I'm not on my normal stage right now. Anybody feeling like that? Feeling displaced a little bit? Literally, I am at my summer cottage. Now, the background is not the best background, but I don't like those fake green screens. I'm going to have to figure out how to do that book stacking thing later, man. That's giving me a new challenge in your background. The fact is, I'm sitting in my...
what's this thing on your wall?
That on the back here, actually, that painting, that is one of the first gifts I was given by an Indigenous artist in Canada, very famous. That painting is probably worth a lot of money, although I don't think of it that way. But it's actually an eagle painted on deer hide with a birch bark frame and an eagle feather hanging. Now, I've also adorned it with a couple of cheerleading things, pom-poms, because it's like my shrine for my sports team in Canada. We're missing sports, right? Well, we have a Canadian and American football, which is not football. Football is your football. And by the way, I was really good at your football because I never got the penalty for touching the ball with my hands, right?
It's perfect, yeah.
But my favorite sports team is called the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So that's their helmet. It's actually from the team. I got a gift from them when I spoke for the team a few years ago, actually in the locker room. So they're a professional football franchise in Canada. That was a thrill of a lifetime. Anyway, I apologize if my background is not your typical stage, but we are going through new stages of life, aren't we? It's the way it is. That is what ERO is.
The highest calling right now is to be of service. So the best sales is to not sell at all, but instead to serve the people you care about. Selling is telling. So who do you serve? And how do you serve them? The quality of this experience makes the difference. If you want our experts to go over your current sales funnel and really dive into the experience and the needs of your clients at each conversion point and make it a wow experience, then you are in luck because we have an exercise for you. Our 15-minute sales audit and one-on-one coaching with a world-class sprint coach. Fill out a couple of questions about your sales funnel and you will have clarity. In your personalized coaching session, you will get clarity on your number one bottleneck, 3 ideas on how to accelerate your growth, and a tangible sales map on how to double your conversions. Go to strategysprints.com/sales and do our 15-minute free sales audit today.
ERO was something that I was doing that I didn't even realize, and I didn't make it up. Basically, I was in the UK speaking, and I was doing some work with CEO management companies over there. They're like a training organization or mastermind group. And, there's a lot of people out there that have great books. And, Jack Canfield was the author, along with Mark Victor Hansen, of the Chicken Soup series, right? But he was also the author of an excellent book called Success Principles. If your audience has not read Success Principles, I would recommend it. Somewhere hidden in that book, which, by the way, I never read, is ERO. My take on it's a little bit different. What's ironic is I didn't even realize I was doing it until a CEO in the UK who had read the book said, "You're doing like Jack Canfield's formula." What's that? The E stands for the event. The events happen every day. The R stands for our response or reaction. The O stands for outcome. But I add 2 more parts to it. The E stays the same, but now we put a plus or minus in front of the R, response or reaction. Plus or minus is positive or negative. And then we do equals O, which is outcome. I promise you, if we have a positive reaction to every event, the outcome has a positive outcome, even though it may not be the one we're looking for. It's why there's so much conflict going on in the world right now, because Anger just brings more anger. Hate brings more hate. War brings more war. Now, I'm going to be honest and come out of the closet here on public television. Right? I'm kidding. I'm one of those spiritual people. I'm a new ager. My wife is a feng shui master and decluttering expert. So we believe that energy is measurable. If we were in the same room together now, Simon, you could feel my energy. It's hard to feel it in this little box, but this is the way I am almost all the time. Now, do I have bad days?
I can feel it through the box, Alvin.
Well,
I can
thank you.
feel it through the box.
So that's ERO, and it's a choice we have. Every one of us has the choice of how we react. And again, I'm not saying to be, annoyingly positive, but it's an energy exchange. We can actually measure the energy in brain scans when we're being positive versus negative. Okay, but for me, I didn't have a brain scan when I was a kid. It just was, it was proven to me that when I approach something from I can do this, I would eventually learn how. And by the way, for your kids, put a poster up, say, there's no such word as can't. Seriously, put a poster up. Every time they say it, point at the poster. There's no such word as can't. That was my mantra growing up. And that creates a different mindset again. It says to us, there is a way through. And by the way, if we can't figure it out ourselves, that's why we have people.
Absolutely. I'm just realizing that I said at the beginning, I said sprints means doing something in a way that gives you more energy and more energy for next week and more energy for next week. So I absolutely resonate with you that energy is the primary material of what we do. And when we engage and when we relate and when you speak on stage, one part of it is energy transmission and confidence transmission. So, of course, this was also one part where I saw your speak and I said, I want this guy on our show. I want to help transmit this energy as broadly as possible because this is such a positive and pure and generous energy. And we need more of that. And I resonate also with what's happening right now. If listeners, now we are in 2020 in the midst, after the lockdown and in the midst of the US confrontation of forces where one force says you should be less violent and they go in fully armored. And we see what happens when you respond in such a way. And I think that's, if we go through that with your formula, we see it very clearly. And negative risk, you go into a protest with arms, that's what you get. You go with minus, you get out with minus. You go in with plus, you get out with plus. I think it's very logical.